Hello and welcome. If you're an educator who's ready to take your lessons from just, good to truly transformative, then you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to dive into how to design lessons that don't just teach facts, but teach students how to think. Let's get right into it.
So let me just ask you this, right off the bat. When your students leave your classroom, are they just carrying around a list of memorized facts? Or are they walking out equipped with the real skills to analyze, to question, and to create? It's a really big question. And the answer? Well, it can change everything about how we teach.
I want you to think of yourself as an architect for a second. See, for a long time, education has sometimes felt like we're just building these little shacks of facts. They're easy to put up, sure, but they don't really last. Our goal today is to give you the blueprint to construct cathedrals of learning, these complex, beautiful, enduring structures of deep understanding.
Okay, so every great structure, whether it's a cathedral or a lesson plan, has to start with a solid foundation. So let's begin right there. What exactly is this thing we call higher order thinking?
This slide really breaks it down perfectly. I want you to picture learning like an iceberg. What you see above the water, that's what we call surface learning, or lower order thinking skills, LOTS for short. This is your basic memorizing, recalling, listing facts. It's important, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. The real substance, what we're really after, is all that mass that's underneath the water. That's deep thinking. That's higher order thinking skills, or HOTS. And that is where the magic happens. Analyzing, evaluating, creating, actually solving problems.
So here's the crucial takeaway. Higher order thinking isn't about knowing more stuff. It's about being able to do more with the stuff you know. It's having the ability to take a piece of information, flip it over, look at it from all sides, and then build something totally new with it.
All right, with our foundation firmly in place, it's time to check out the blueprint. A great architect doesn't just show up to a job site with a hammer and a few nails and hope for the best. No way. They have a detailed plan. For us as educators, that plan is all about designing our lessons with total intention.
And this master blueprint has a name. It's a powerful idea called backward design. The name pretty much says it all. You literally start at the end. So instead of asking, okay, what am I going to teach on Monday, you ask a totally different question. What do I need my students to be able to do by the end of the week, and how will I know for sure that they can do it?
It's really a simple three-step process when you break it down. First, you identify your destination. What's the ultimate skill or big understanding you want for your students? Second, you figure out how you'll know they've arrived. What does success actually look like? Is it a test, a project, maybe a debate? And only then, as the very final step, do you plan the journey, the day-to-day activities and experiences that are going to get them there. So, if backward design is our blueprint, then we need a toolkit, right? And that toolkit is Bloom's taxonomy. It gives us the specific tools, the different levels of thinking that we need to build our cathedral of learning level by level from the ground up.
Every single structure starts at the bottom, and for us, this is the foundational layer. Simply remembering and recalling the basic facts. The who, what, where, when. It's the essential bedrock we build everything else on. From there, the next level we build is understanding. And this isn't just about spitting back a definition. It's about being able to explain an idea in your own words, to summarize it, to really get it. Now things start to get active. At the apply level, students are actually using the information they've learned, but in a new situation. They're solving a problem or demonstrating a skill. This is where knowledge gets put to work. And here it is. This is the turning point. When we ask students to analyze, we are officially crossing the line into higher order thinking. This is all about breaking information down into its parts, comparing and contrasting, and starting to see the relationships between all the pieces. Next up is a really crucial one. Evaluate. Here, students have to make judgments based on some kind of criteria. They have to defend a position, critique an argument, or decide which course of action is best. It requires a much deeper level of thought.
And finally, at the very, very top of our structure, we reach the pinnacle, create. This is the ultimate goal, right? We're asking students to generate brand new ideas, to design a new solution, to compose something totally original. This is where learning is truly mastered.
Okay, so we've got our blueprint, we've got our toolkit. But you can't just ask a student to leap from the foundation of remembering all the way to the peak of creating in one go. It's just not going to happen. You have to build them a ladder, and that ladder has a name. It's called scaffolding. Scaffolding is all about giving temporary support. It's just like on a construction site, right? You put up a scaffold to help the builders reach the higher levels. But once the wall is strong enough to stand on its own, you take the scaffold away.
It's the exact same idea in teaching.
And this quote just illustrates the idea so perfectly. It's just common sense, isn't it? You build from the ground up and you provide support at each and every stage. The same exact logic applies to building knowledge and skills in our students' minds.
So how do you actually build this scaffold? Well, you start with the basics, that foundational lower-order knowledge. Then you model the kind of thinking you want to see. You use really good guiding questions to push them upward. You introduce tasks that are a little more complex. And then, and this is the key, you gradually, step by step, release that responsibility to them until they can do it on their own.
So what happens when you combine the blueprint of backward design with the tools from Bloom's taxonomy and the ladder of scaffolding? Well, what do you get? You get your masterpiece. You get a lesson that has been completely and totally transformed.
Just look at this fantastic example. The before lesson. It's a simple memory task. Memorize some dates. The outcome? Students can recall facts. Okay, but look at the after lesson. It is a whole different world. Now students are debating which battle was the most significant turning point and defending their choice with actual evidence. The outcome here? They can analyze, evaluate, and form a coherent argument. They aren't just learning history anymore, they're thinking like historians. Now that is transformation. And honestly, that's the whole point of all this. We're trying to move away from just covering the material and move toward creating intentional, truly engaging learning experiences that build skills that actually last. We're not just building shacks of facts anymore. We are constructing cathedrals of learning.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. You now have the blueprint. You have the tools. The only question that's left is, what are you going to build? So think about your schedule. What's just one lesson, one small thing that you can transform this week?